Now, Wednesday marked the one-year anniversary of the Sky Ocean Rescue campaign. Today, we're with a sports club who are involved with a variety of initiatives to raise awareness of plastic in rivers. And Mark McAdam is at Kew Bridge to tell us more. Mark, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, John. What an incredible day for some water sport activity. And what better place to do it right here in the heart of London by Kew Bridge. As you can imagine, it really is quite a picturesque day. It's not too wet and miserable, a little bit of sun peeking through the clouds. It really is perfect to get out there on the water. But you can't help but be a little bit unhappy about the state of the riverbank. And if I step away to the side, you can see exactly what I mean. The Sky Ocean Rescue campaign was launched a year ago to identify the problems with marine pollution and, of course, in particular, plastic. And just right here in front of me, you can see so many water bottles and drinks bottles, cans, rubbish. Most of the pollution in and around this riverbank is plastic, and that's the key problem. And like you say, Active 360, not only do they put on water sports in and around this river and up and down the Thames, but they're doing it and trying to clean it up as well and raise the awareness of this issue of single-use plastics. I'm here with Paul Hyman from Active 360, who's ready to get out on the water. You've got all the gear on, you're ready to go. But at the same time, not only are you enjoying your water sport, paddleboarding, but you're also using this opportunity to try and make a difference and clean things up, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we try and engage people in the issues of plastic pollution and trying to look at some of the solutions. So we've got a whole group of people now that have done cleanups, cleaning up plastic, but that really goes nowhere because you can clean this up and it will be back very soon. So it's more about looking at the longer term solutions to why this plastic is getting into the river and how we can stop it at source.
And that's one of the things you're doing today. You're getting out there on the water with your team, but you've got a red bucket, you've got a litter picker, that goes on the paddleboard, and you basically use the opportunity to try and pick up as much as you possibly can and try and clean things up.
Yeah, we'll clean up, but it's particularly we're interested if you look at things like this plastic cup. We're interested in the types of plastic getting in the river, and this is one that's easily solvable. We're about to set up a scheme that will encourage pubs to stop using these things and use reusable alternatives. And there are alternatives out there, so we'll be showing them the options.
And obviously, when you look across the riverbank, you can see so many water bottles, so much pollution, and it really does spoil what's an iconic setting, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a stunning river and on our doorstep and a beautiful natural space, and we're allowing it to just get trashed.
And that's the big problem. But with the campaign, the Sky Ocean Rescue campaign, and the things that they're doing to bring this into the homes of people and make them aware of these issues, there seems to be a real traction at the moment and people getting behind what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. We've noticed so much more interest this year. I think Blue Planet was amazing. That's really generated a lot of interest. But last year already, we were seeing a lot of interest in what we're doing. We ran a festival called the Plastic Ocean Festival, and we had a lot of engagement. Hundreds of people took part in that, watched films on plastic pollution, including one of the Sky films, and also took part in cleanups and question and answer sessions.
That's great, and we're with you throughout the course of this morning trying to make a little bit of a difference and raise the awareness. So we're going to let you get yourself ready and get on the river. This red bucket goes on the front of his paddleboard. And all the rubbish goes in there. So as you can imagine, it's going to be a really interesting morning to just gather some information and see what really the marine pollution is like in and around our riverbanks here in London. The paddleboard is there, it's absolutely huge. One thing's for sure though, I'll be filming and watching, I won't be getting on.
Now, Wednesday marked the one-year anniversary of the Sky Ocean Rescue campaign, and today we're with a sports club who are involved with a variety of initiatives to raise awareness of plastic in rivers. Mark McAdam is riverside to tell us more. Mark, what can you tell us?
Yeah, good morning. We've been out with the Active 360 team up and down the Thames Tideway this morning, obviously enjoying the water, no rain as well, which has been nice, but paddleboarding, which is a great sport to do, particularly in such fantastic settings in and around London and Kew Bridge, as you can see. But one of the key points that we've been talking about is plastic and plastic pollution. And Paul Hyman and his team have been not only paddleboarding, but they've been cleaning up the river at the same time. Paul, you've been out this morning. We've been filming you and following you, and here's just a quick look at some of the rubbish you found today.
Yeah, fairly typical. Always a plastic water bottle somewhere in there, some plastic bags and wrapping, bin liner, and some styrofoam packaging, which is a really nasty stuff. That gets into the river and breaks up quickly.
And of course that damages the birds and the fish and various marine wildlife up and down the river. Mark Simpson, you've been working hard to find alternative solutions to these single-use plastics, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm, along with Paul, we're starting a scheme to support local pubs and hospitality businesses and help find some alternatives to the single-use plastic that they use in those, to stop it getting in the river when it's left outside beer gardens and so on.
You see lots of plastic beer cups and various things making its way into the river. Harry and Alison have been working. They've been out paddleboarding again today. What have you found in your buckets?
We're seeing lots and lots of plastic bottles ending up in the river. People seem to be throwing them in. And also the cotton buds, you'll notice. People are flushing lots of cotton buds down the loo, which are ending up in the environment. They cause real damage and they stay there for a long time. So we've got to stop flushing those down the loo.
And the thing about these plastic bottles is they can stay in the river for up to 400 years. They're going to be here for a long time, and that's why it's important that they stop getting used, isn't it, Alison?
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And in the summertime, we also find a huge amount of plastic beer cups that have blown into the river from pubs, and they shatter down into very, very small pieces, and it's just not being cleared away. So it's causing a massive problems because the plastic that's ending up in the river is going into the food chain. The river sweeps all the water out into the sea. So it's a massive problem, and I think the more people are aware of it, the more they will do to stop this plastic getting in there in the first place.
And that's the key message, Alison. It's about raising awareness, making a difference out here on the Thames Tideway, but also having fun on paddleboards as well.
Now, Wednesday marked the one-year anniversary of the Sky Ocean Rescue campaign, and today we've been with a sports club in London who are tackling the problem of plastic in rivers head-on.
The Thames Tideway is a perfect place for a Sunday morning paddleboard. The weather, scenery and conditions are perfect, but it's spoilt by one thing: plastic. But Paul Hymond and his team from Active 360 are doing something about it.
It's about engaging people in the plastic pollution issue. So the clearing up is always just a small part of it, really, but it shows people what's actually out there.
And it's great that you can have a connection to making a difference to the environment, but through sport.
Yeah, exactly. It's lovely to engage people in this river. It's such a fantastic place, and people love it out there, and we're just letting it slip away.
Ruth Cadbury is the Labour MP for Brentford and Isleworth, which covers this stretch of the Thames, and she fully supports Paul and his team.
We're really proud of the paddleboarders here at Kew Bridge. We've got so much plastic floating around in the Thames. People dump it, it comes down with the rain. And what the paddleboarders are doing, they're picking up the rubbish, but they're also raising awareness, and I think that's really, really important. We have to leave the world a better place for our children and grandchildren, and that means all governments have to take action soon and urgently.
In less than 2 hours along a 2-mile stretch, 6 buckets of plastic and plastic pollution were gathered. But this is just a tiny fraction of the problem.
We've only got one planet, haven't we? And everyone has to start taking a bit of responsibility in what we're putting into our waterways, what we're consuming. The disposable packaging that we're using is completely out of control, and we've got to start reining it all in and clearing it up.
Everything that does go in the Thames eventually is going to end up in the ocean. It's our gateway to the ocean, if you like. So us getting out here is having a little impact on what we're trying to clean up, but really it's the guys at home that are going to be littering this stuff or flushing it down the toilet. That's how it's getting into the environment, and we can't pick it all up, so it's up to everybody to do their bit and make sure it's not ending up in the environment. We've just seen a seal up here, you know. You think that the Thames is dead, but it's not. It's a living river full of different organisms, so everyone needs to pull together and do their bit to make sure that they're not being impacted by what we're doing at home.
Groups like this really do make a difference, but the bigger challenge is, can you make a difference by passing on plastic? Mark McAdam, Sky Sports.